without clarity. Nothing you can do without clarity essentially makes that happen. And even that instinct is essentially worthless without really that internal peace. You need that in order to keep yourself moving. Not having with said, you can achieve great things, but if you're trying to get to the mastery of yourself, man, it's such a sacrifice that you have to be willing to make. And for Whis, watching the Saiyans clash and go about things, it's really less about the combat of that aspect of their physicalness and that physiology about the Saiyans and their heritage. It's really more about their individual characters and why they're motivated. We recall him asking several times, Vegeta, what motivates you to get stronger? Goku, where do you seek more strength? You know, he's curious about what motivates them as martial artists. And in my honest opinion, I think that's the coolest thing about his introduction as a character into the series. It's how he forces Goku and Vegeta to think beyond where they've been thinking his whole life. He's telling them, no, where do you really want to ascend? What are you trying to achieve? You know, that's the journey I'm on in my personal life, boys, and you all should be on the same thing, and there's really no excuse. I have jobs, I have work, I have kids. Yeah, we all got the shit, man. Excuse my language. Still hearing excuses. What are you doing to make time for it? And then there's Piccolo. You can't forget Piccolo. In many ways, I think he's the unsung character of this entire era. Once a villain, then a rival, then a mentor, now a guardian of legacy. Piccolo doesn't chase transformations, in my opinion. He doesn't care about glory at all. He evolves kind of in the same way, and it's not obviously out of ambition, but it's really out of necessity. Like, if you need Piccolo to be there to kind of be your rear gunner, Piccolo's going to do his best to get there and to be ready on time to do something to help. If you need a wingman and you're down a gunner, guess what? Piccolo's probably there on your wing covering your six. Am I right or am I wrong? You know what I mean? His orange transformation, it wasn't just a new form. To me, it was a response to a new era of where the transformations and the power levels in Dragon Ball have finally come to. And now Piccolo has had to essentially evolve out of necessity, not out of desperation necessarily to say, oh, I must be as strong as Go. No, it's like, I need to evolve to my highest form to try to help out my friends. And quite frankly, Piccolo would consider his family. He's a guardian of Earth just as much as anyone else is. He sees villains in danger coming usually before everyone else, even the Saiyans do. And then they usually pick it up. Even, for example, in that Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, Piccolo sensed danger before Gohan did, but it wasn't too far away, right? So you have to keep that thing in mind. And as one of the quietest warriors, I still think he's a very stark reminder that you need to rely on those quiet guys on your team that are getting the job done. May not be the most coolest whomever, but like those are people that if it hits the fan, you know you can rely on to have your back, man. Those people are priceless, right? So when Goku and Vegeta push their boundaries as gods, and then Piccolo continues to remain grounded in that energy, and he reminds us of balance, of duty, of restraint, I think he stands at the edge of the arms race that's happening between Goku and Vegeta. Not really as a competitor, but really he's the witness. And sometimes, again, he's the stabilizer. The Z Fighters are nothing without Piccolo as the backbone of that group, in my opinion. Just as the same as Krillin can be the other backbone of that group. I apologize for my phone falling there, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to think about these things because that's what's really been the narrative of Dragon Ball. It's not just the characters getting stronger, it's how they all fit within the general overarching point of the story in order to succeed in situations where many people and groups weren't. This isn't some fairy tale fantasy of mindsets that don't exist. This is taken from real life humans that we all exist, work with daily. Some of us may be closer to these characters in our lives than others. This is real context, people. So when you're seeing this happen on screen in characters, these are real dynamics playing. The only difference is Dragon Ball has characters that have power levels that are capable of destroying entire universes. At this point, that's the difference. But in regards to the philosophy, the mindset of what motivates these characters, good or evil, it's all the same. And that to me is the point. You know, the race for becoming strong in Dragon Ball isn't just for strength. It's their ideologies and how they differ. Frieza hates the way Goku is. Goku wishes Frieza would just become essentially one of his great training buddies for the rest of his life, let's be honest. You know, Vegeta is not going to get left behind. He's doing his own thing now and saying, I'm done chasing things for the sake of chasing it. I'm going to go at my own pace. These are the things that matter. You know what I mean? Because it's really within themselves that they're trying to figure out what's the best way I can evolve to the mastery of myself. And if there's this thing, this obstacle in my way, how do I get rid of it? For Frieza, it's Goku. For Vegeta, it used to be Goku. You know what I mean? I think that's what really matters in this story. It doesn't really need an ending. because every part, in my opinion, is still unfolding. It's just unfolding in a different way and at a different pace that some of us may be used to. I'm 33 years old. I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was like 11 or 12. So yeah, it's changed a lot, but I don't mind the pacing because to me, it's what makes me appreciate the story more as it continues to go on. And there's a big announcement coming by the time these videos or whatever happens on my channel as I'm uploading them. I'll try to keep up with that. But supposedly Toei and Shueisha with Toru are trying to figure something out, and that's great news. Supposedly an announcement potentially on the next Dragon Ball movie. It might be coming out. Gosh, things don't feel the same without Akira Toriyama, but he's built something so big, you can't ignore it. You can't say I'm walking away from Dragon Ball. If anything, paying more respect to it, watching more things, consuming more Dragon Ball when you have the time to do so, I think that's really paying homage to our sensei, right? I miss Akira every day, man. It's weird, but it's just my thoughts on the matter. You guys feel free to let me know yours. If you agree, this is kind of the philosophy, I think, of what Dragon Ball is built around these four characters and why their relevance is important in the show, not just as characters with power levels, but as ideological figures, right, to rally behind. Give me your thoughts. It's Kaioken Striker. Appreciate having you with me today. Remember, stay strong, stay tough, stay in the fight. I'm with you there all the way, brother. Take care.